Bum 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 bum. So, I actually had started doing stuff before I even started streaming. I kind of screwed that up. But yeah, Tuesday. Um, yeah, exciting. Exciting day. Stuff to do with politics, but whatever. Yeah, Teamo Tuesday. Woo! Today is season 2, episode 36. Trying to figure out why this isn't working the way I want it to do. So, like, I plugged it in. Go here, but he's all goofied. So I need to go to my shader, and I need to fix this. Is this what I need to use? What if I use something like this? No, I don't think it's happy with that. Or does this have to be changed? So what's going on with this? It says here, underscore mtext properties required for sprite renderer. Mtext. Does this have to be written something different? Does this have to be mtext? Does that fix this? Oh man. Yeah, I don't see anything. Is it simple? Simple sprite default. There we go. Okay. Default material. Can I just add the shader to it? No. Let's see, and I do this and then it screws up. I don't know, I'm doing something weird. I made a material. But if I go to my shader thing here, it's not like split. I just want to be looking at like one thing of this. This is a headache. I think I'm gonna do something else. Hold on, I'll work on today. Well, how about we just do this? We go back to here, and yeah, sure, we'll say whatever we're doing there. Let's see what we got going. Boss battle doesn't do anything. Maybe I do the shortcut stuff. The generator. And maybe we figure out, make it run. Event status success fixed. Event number. Event number 0. Set sprite for event. Sprite. Starting sprite, success sprite. Oh, these are sprite stuff. It's UI related things. Events of the text related to the event based on each hero's highest related stat. You have to have found an area to set button text. Okay. For each set their nickname. We also need a stat that event is looking for. Okay, the stat that that event's looking for. Okay, event success stat name. Oh, because these are right now there's only one stat, right? Because if I go back to here, values 2, speed. Yeah, okay. For now, if we know it's speed, maybe I'm going to do this. Button choice text is here's nickname. Nickname plus here ID transitions. It's not going to be that, it's going to be so now I need to know now we'll do this. We know that we need to get the value, the other thing. So we'll just go var int. Oh no, it's whatever. It's gonna be int stat value is equal to this hero. I need to get a specific oh no. Okay. Stat value. Name. There we go. This is technically going to be a string. And this is going to be equal to this. Here transformed like a child dot component. Okay, how do I'm gonna look for speed. Can I do dot speed? No, I need this to be find the value, the value's name. Thank you. Find the value based on the name is what I want to do. This is what I want to see. So we have, it's an int. An int that's speed. Dot speed. So can I not go all of this unit dot no. So this is going to be whatever. No, this is going to be whatever our event success name is. Oh, yeah. Whatever I is. Nope, it's not I. Is it I? No, it's not I. Fixed event number? That's it. Event number. Okay. So now I have this name. And then I can technically do so I have a name, event success value. I don't know, because I need to put, so I need to now find that specific thing. So int hero stat value is going to be equal to this whole thing. Let's see, and I wonder if I could just do this dot stat. Can I do stat value? No. So I need to find, okay, dot no, it's not a component. Okay, well, let's just do this. Let's make my life a lot easier. Whatever. Variable? Can I do variable? I don't know if I can do this. Okay, so hero unit. And technically, I can do hero unit, right? Because we've gotten that. Okay. Okay. So, string name, whatever, I'm just gonna have some debugs in here, so dot log get stat value name. Okay. Now I have that. I need to get what is, I have the string for it. So I need to do component dot, it's this dot the thing. Flexible variable by find variable by string name. I think that's kind of what I want, right? Get sounds like you want to look up a table. I just want to go specific. No, I need just a simple, and I know it's got to be something straightforward. Get a field type value variable or another. There's a lot of discussions. I want documentation of how. I think I'm missing how I need to figure this out. Getting variable by name. I just want to know if it's possible to get them by their name given by string variable. How to find name and value of each variable? No, I just need. Can of worms. Definitely possible, but if you're not advanced enough, chances are you're opening up a can of worms. Then again, I have nothing to lose. You're looking for a called language reflection or introspection, which is a programming language ability to look at. Yeah, this would be like the get component is probably what I'm looking at. Unit. Get component. Type. Maybe that's where maybe I'm close. Because I could use hero. Oopsies. Hero unit dot get component. Now this is where it gets interesting. If I put in state, well actually no, if I do this state, oh no, whatever, state, no, because this is a string, so I should be able to just take my state value name, no, see this it doesn't like. As a variable, but it used like a type. Huh. I wonder if this is a var. No, it breaks the other thing, so this has to be a string. Okay, so this is a type. Type. So that's another thing I need to look into. Type. That's where Unity type. Man, there we go. So type. I need to know version unsupported. Get type. So this, what if I did type? What's getting the type? Type, I don't know. Game object renderer. No, this is not what I want. No. Get type method. Get a type object that represents the specific type. But this says type. Value. Value is a variable, but it is used like a type. Ah. This is the unit. Gives me, if I put speed, it'll find it. If I put dot, I did get type. No, that doesn't, that's not right. Type, get types. Namespace. It's the name of the class. If you want a subclass, no. Okay, something's. How do I just? I know I'm doing something silly, and I can't figure out what. Okay. Yeah, that's it. The fix thing. Maybe before I even do this, maybe I should just have it know what it is. To a string. What is that string? Button, switch case, so event, speed, if. See, this is what I'm doing here. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little. Maybe I do something a little bit. Maybe I redo this a little bit. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe I make buttons different. I make them the people. And then you pick, it shows you your people. Maybe that's how I should do it. Yeah, I think maybe that's maybe just kind of just quickly whatever, it doesn't have to be that big. Whatever. What's a good size? 100? No. I don't know what a standard size is. Let's put 200. Oh, whatever. I could do 1080 by, what is it? 1080 by 7 something? I always forget. $720. Oops. Yeah, I'll just do that. It's an easy S. 720. There we go. Something like this. So I have a little block. So the idea would be, let's just kind of play around with this just quickly to kind of get an idea of what I want. Is I would want, I'll just add a new layer. Call this where I want to put text. So the idea would be, boop, boop, text box. fill it with, I think the text box would be here. Boop, something like that. Alright. Whatever, let's make this something, blah. There, something like that. I think this would kind of be like where our thing is. And then this thing would actually be a little bit bigger. We could have it something like this. Something like that. Right, so this would be where our text is. I should probably maybe have a skip. Maybe I should have a skip button for skipping events. So like, let's say we have our buttons. You have one button here. And then another button here. Something like that. Do I have text? So whatever, we're gonna just quickly. This is where I wish I had my tablet. Confirm. And skip. Something like that. Looks a little janky because my resolution's weird, but yeah, something like that. Then I need something that would have like maybe my person's stats. Maybe like bars? No, because this explains the like what you have to like do. You'll have selectable people. So we'll have our selectable peoples. Whatever, we'll have just like, you know, 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, and up to 4 people. 4 heroes, right? You can click which one. When you click them, because this is just scene. Oopsies, that's all text. This is just a scene, I guess. I should put it as like maybe a lighter. No, maybe a. And then this will be like some sort of image that like has the scene. So this is like the image, whatever. Image. And then this would be like what we'd have for our, and this would be like times 3, because we'd have different images. Your first image is like neutral, then there's a success image and a fail image. Yeah, I think that's that. And then whenever you click, so technically you'd have a button here, or like a select. Oh, you know what, I could do like this. Let's just make a quick like selector. So like, okay, let's say you've selected this person. They're selected. If they're selected, you'll get like their stat information, I guess. Yeah, so then they would have like their name, and the stat they're good at. Something like that. And then you'd confirm, I don't know, maybe I'll move that around a little bit, but something kind of like this. So then these buttons would change. I'm just going to add a random thing here. Create empty game object. We'll call this like placeholder. And so what I want for this, yeah. I'll just slap some placeholder people in here. So let's grab you, 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 and you. Shift grab all you, stick you here. Where are you guys? Cool. Let's go. Yeah, let's. Something like that. Something kind of like that. Something like that. I guess we can delete this. Paper, wall. I think I want this to be. I think I want it to be that. Maybe I can make it something. Yeah. That, no. You know what? I think I want wall. We got rid of you. We're gonna add tile map. If I add that, will that? Okay, let's just go here. Sprite, 2D object, tile map, rectangle, and then we'll call this one our background or whatever. This is a good. Oop, not that palette. Cave palette. There we go. Need like a floor. like that. Cool. No, so I have to stick this grid in the canvas, don't I? There we go. And I don't have to technically, but this image, an image we can. I'm gonna just size it smaller. And just, so this is just going to be a little thing that I can put up in this corner. Whatever, we're gonna add 2D. No, we need a grid? No, we don't need, we need tile map. I want to add another tile map. Can I just do, oh, okay, there we go. So this will be whatever. Background, something like that. Missing an R here. Background. And we can just stick some, or I'll just do this, just do it easy. Something like that. It's not the greatest, but it'll do for now. This layer -4, sure. There we go, something like that. Oh, I need to deselect that. No, I need to. Yeah, no, I don't want to be in the palette anymore. Where? Whatever. Canvas. Ronin. What? No one. There we go. I've deselected. Silly me. Yeah, so then really we can have all these guys kind of glued here. We can have our paper text adjust these. Oh wait, no, I don't want to adjust it that way. I want to. No, I guess I have to make it smaller. Something like this. And then these buttons are going to change to really be, they don't have to be so big. Shift. Whatever, I'm going to do that for now. These people can go up. And we'll grab all these buttons, bring them over here somewhere. So button 1 would technically be under you. Actually, let's shift all these buttons. I want to change their. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so you'd be under here. Button 2 would be under here. Button 3 would be, oopsies, button 3 would be under here, and button 4 would go here. Okay, so then I gotta flow this right. So there's a whole thing about like menu flow. And so you need to be able to start your information in the correct order. So if you clicked This is where it gets interesting. The way that you like flow your eyes between things is that if I clicked, my decision was to, I could make 3 different menus, which would be kind of nuts. Unless I use transitions to focus people's, this is a whole nother level of UI stuff. But okay, so let's say I clicked here. Where you click is where your focus is at that point. So if I clicked here to go to this like event, the immediate thing I should have for information should be in this kind of vicinity. So this paper should theoretically be here. This is where it should be. So if I clicked an event there, I should have it here, so that if I clicked these 2 squares anywhere in this vicinity, it's like, oh, here's my information. You can also reinforce that, but because I'm using a scene changer that like fades in and fades out, is that specifically setting up that my scene change out goes to like where I clicked, and then when it opens, the first thing you see where it opens is like where the text is going to be. So for now, instead of going extremely complicated and making it spicy flow, where I would have multiple different setups, I'm going to use this setup, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it when it changes to this specific scene, I have to make it so that the scene always opens with this on this side of the map. So the first thing you see is this, then you see your people. So this is... I don't even have to put the buttons there. Which is better? Either way, it's yeah. See, and then technically I need 2 more buttons. I actually do need 2 more buttons. UI. Button. So I have to have buttons here. So this is our... I could let the player skip. Well, I mean, you know, whatever. Yeah, we could have skip. Why can I let players skip? Well, and then this will be confirm. Because you might now there's a whole thing about like where buttons are set up. Oh man. Confirm. These buttons need to be maybe I'll just use something like this. Super simple, and then technically your text has to be flipped. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then you select your person. I'd have something a little prettier here, you know, whatever we can. Background, pretty it up a little bit. Actually, I want to make it light. And then I need like a campfire thing. Cool. I need to make some sort of like campfire type thing, but no, that's not it. But yeah, that's fine. Boop. Yeah, so at least you know like this is like a oh, technically I have to have a border around this whole thing. But yeah. So you'd come in, you'd select which person. Why are my buttons all like weird? Sure, 45. Shift. All of you will be set to 45. Now we're all at the same level. But yeah, you pick your person. I'd have to also give some sort of information about like what what value they have, and then you confirm. So if you select someone, because right now it's just going to give us the names. Yeah, so I also have to write some code that this, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Set sprites for event. Starting sprite. That's not going to necessarily be sprites anymore. Set buttons. This is actually going to be. This will be not sprites. Set sprites. This will actually be set. Whatever, it can still be sprites. Setting the event sprites. Hey, how's it going? I'm like hiding my face. I'll probably just adjust. I don't know, because I'm like leaning forward. But yeah, yep. So this actually won't be sprites. This will be more or less actually setting the correct grid for the scene. So yeah, so I'd have to have that's an interesting thing. I could use something similar to what I have in the other one, so then it's not as jarring. That's actually not a bad idea. That's a good idea, actually. That's a good idea, because if we go with I'll say we're way up here. I've kind of changed stuff. We run this. So this is how we start it. right? We chose you. I'm gonna have to change how these work. And same with this. This has to get changed to match the other scene. But we're getting there. We're getting to like an idea of how this will work. I think I'm gonna use a lot of grids. Yeah, so it's like, okay, we go here. Same thing with this. This will have to be changed. Gotta make, ooh, I'll take that. Put that there and continue. A bunch of treasure rooms. So now I should actually have a few things that are like hero holder, Sir Rick, and then items we have Excaliburi, which is a fish. Now, unfortunately, it didn't show us the fish in the other thing. We recruit him. So we have him. We go into battle. We do have our homie that we can switch between, which is fantastic. Stab. Oh, there's so much polish to do. So much polish. And it's all like little things. We'll recruit. See here, now this is where it gets a little wonky. I shouldn't I shouldn't be able to recruit him. I should make it so that the recruit checks if you already have a Sir Rick and not let you have another one. So much polishing things. Oh man, I quickly do have to go to the bathroom. So what I'm gonna do is always do my little, I think this is kind of a clever idea actually. Excuse me. Do this, pop this, do this, I know there's a way to do this, loop, yeah, there we go, full screen, bam. Boop. And I'm back. It's going to be a lot of little polishing to do. See this, I want to also maybe do a tile map and you know, can I like this? Oh, this is like, oh, we are super scaled weird here. So then I actually have to change my scaling on this. So 0.1. Shoot. No, that's too small. Maybe half the size? 0.5? No, that's too big. Maybe that's what I need. I'll have to play with this, but yeah. Because now oh no, then this doesn't. Crud. No. No, let's. This one. Animation frame rate, no. Anchor. Crud. Oh, this is not what I want. Yeah, there's gonna be a headache for that, because this is the correct scale sized. Don't save. Lower dungeon. Yeah. And then grid dungeon. See, then the scaling is correct here. So I'd either... scaling is so frustrating. Bash. Go. Blast. Old man, blast. See, this is where it's supposed to. Yeah, so this is looking kind of good. Lord Rick. Yeah. So this is actually pretty close to what I want it to be. Yeah, it's not too bad. Problem is the scale's going to be all janked again too. I should actually fix that. Let's go end game event. Oh yeah, sure, we fix that. Here, I just need to make it so that the skip button works. Public void And then I guess we'd also have public void confirm. Oopsies. I'll have skip work. Yeah, it just needs to do we have a transition controller in there, scene? Do not have a transition controller. We'll need one of those. And then just like the other things, so yeah. So we'll go back to here. And then technically this skip. I'll have this. Where's my skip button? Did I not save here? Didn't save. Save it. Have my skip button there. Then at least I can skip out of that. Oh, so I also need a transition controller. Did I make the transition controller a prefab? I think I did. To make my life a little bit easier, prefab. Yes, nice. Make this here. Main camera. And this changes back to the ladder. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's just run this real quick. It may break something, but it should get rid of my transition fears. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's good. And then here, skip button will just call the transition controller, which I should have already connected. Yeah, I should just put here. And gen data, let's just add here public game object transition controller, just to make sure that that's popped onto here, so then I can grab it and call the transition. Okay, transition controller. Oopsie, no, not that's a canvasy thing. We need this transition controller. Boop. Target of event. Oh, that's a okay. Cool. And then back to my code. And then we go here. Transition controller dot set active scene. No. Change. What is it? Scene. What do I have it? What do I call? No. Switch. Load next scene. There it is. Load next scene. Dot load. What? Huh? What? Okay. What did I call it here? Maybe we don't even do game object, we do transition controller. Just to, yeah, whatever it's for. No. Okay, yeah. Dot. Okay, so now if I click that button, it should just load the next scene. Also, I'll just put a here debug dot log. Oops, log. Technically, there should be stuff that happens because you skip an event. It's some sort of... I don't know. Maybe I have like a hunting number or something like that, or just a value that just goes up with every skipped event to make the events interesting. Yeah. So at least now it'll skip and it'll go back. There's also another thing I want to play with. Kind of jumping around a little bit today. But at least this skip button will work and get me out of here. Just fine. Yeah, starting image, success image, fail image. Maybe I just need like a check mark. Maybe I'll make a check mark. File, new, 32. Actually, I should be able to find a freaking check mark quickly. Pixel art. Check mark. Let's go 16 by 16. Boop. Yeah, something like this. Everything is not free. Nothing's free. Whatever. I'll just make them 16 by 16. Boop. Okay. Oops, not what I want to do. Boop. Boop. Pretty straightforward check mark right there. Maybe we'll give it a little shade. Something like that. And just shimmy it. Something like that. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to probably just add a little bit more to... I think I'll just add a little bit more to here. And do... something like that. I mean, I could go a little bit crazier too, and just go something like that. Okay, file save as PNG, PNG. Check mark. I should also maybe. Should I like make a border? No, you know what? I can just make it a black box. Actually, it doesn't have to be. Oh no, I'll just slap it on top. That's a good idea. I'll just slap it on top. Okay. This one's pretty easy. I just do boop boop. And this one's just going to be like that. Easy peasy. It's not red enough though. Yeah, I want it to be. Am I doing this right? Yeah, whatever. Boop. Boop. And if I want to do this, I can do it like, oops. Shoot. Red. There we go. And then if we want to go a little darker, and then we can add whatever. I could do that. I could do this. That gives it a little bit of shade. Cool. Whatever, that's fine. Save as. I guess it's like X. X mark. There we go. Cool. That was easy peasy. Guess this would just be. What did I say this was? This is the success one. Check mark. And then this is X mark. Yeah. There we go. Ooh, I also have to make sure that they're not like weird looking. 32. None. Point filter apply. Here. 32. Quality none. Point filter apply. So now at least when it does its thing, it'll flick the. It'll change this to a check or not check. Then I technically also have to have, so you click your confirm button. It debugs. Technically needs to put a success. Do I have a error, not a valid string? But what if it fails? Int child number 0, switch to whatever this is. If speed is greater. Oh, so these are all just success ones, so I'd have to make failure ones. A failure thing. Yeah, if speed is greater than whatever this fixed number is, then it's a success. Then technically you would call the success, you would set values need on setup, but we also need if it's a success or a fail. Okay, that's stuff. We need other values. Public bool success. Yeah, so it's either success or fail. Technically this can have this the event was a success or fail. Default it'd be it's false. So yeah. success is equal to false. Default false before the event starts, and if the player skips. Yeah. Okay. So then if you do so if you press this button, do the switch case, any one of these things would cause a success. Just flip the button, right? So then technically we'd also have success is equal to true, right? It's correct. So we do all of this stuff. This is the button press. Which I technically don't need all of this crap. I just realized. Oh, this is so redundant because this is just checking confirm. Crap. This is all redundant. Yeah. No, this is redundant. This is redundant. Yeah. Okay. I don't need all of these. It's still good to have these buttons, but they don't need all the stuff that's in them because they all have the same stuff. So what these buttons should have is this is actually just going to go into the confirm. No. Oh. Oh man. You click the button. It's going to set the number. Okay, so this is a bunch of redundant stuff. Redundant stuff can be used to write confirm button logic. Okay, so the pattern would go so the button press either represent the correct. Yes, okay. So we're gonna need some stuff. We're gonna need let's put some to-dos. To do. So what do we need? Okay, so we need to each button. Okay, buttons. Okay, whatever. Button. Need toggles. One for each active hero in the. Oh, thanks for the follow, Zach Out TV. I don't know if I said that right. Zach Out TV. I'm a beginner and I have questions like for knowing I'm learning offensive cybersecurity. Anyways, I don't have big passion like game dev. Is working as at a company good or bad like game dev with Unreal Engine be my living? Okay, so you're doing cybersecurity. I don't have a big passion. Like game dev is. So game dev is like a lot of different things. Game dev's a hard industry to get into. Something like cybersecurity, IT. I mean, even that's getting hard. But so let's say you get into AAA. One, depending on your level of skill and your work history, will affect kind of where you get put in. It's very hard to get like more senior positions without experience or like really high level of education. So generally, you're going to start low, like just a junior developer or something like that, or even you might not even get a developer position. You might start off in like QA. But AAA is, yeah, it doesn't have its glamorousness, as in you're going to work on a game and you're going to work on that game for like a few years. And there's big things that suck about that is that most of the time you're working on a game and you can't talk about it. So it's like you'll work on a game for 2-3 years. You're working on the same kind of stuff the whole time. But at the end of the day, you might be someone who worked on Cyberpunk or you worked on Baldur's Gate or something like that, which is really cool to say that you worked on something big that everyone knows about. There are some AA companies out there, so smaller companies. And in the smaller company, you're going to probably have more chance to kind of grow. Yeah, it's really cook. Yeah, it's a tough one. So yeah, and then you have AA companies. So those are companies that have publishers that are not AAA, but they're making games, and they're usually smaller teams, much smaller teams. And that's a little bit better, I think, especially if you're starting off. It's easier to be in a smaller team. But the clout you get from working for a big company is also good. Like if you work for a big company, then if you go to a small company, they're like, oh yeah, you work for Ubisoft? That's so cool. Well, you have like this experience. And then you keep going down. So I think A developers are kind of like don't exist anymore. It's really the indie developers. And indie developers are its own branch of like side. Like indie is such a broad term now where you could have an indie developer that's almost effectively making AAA games, but they're still called indie because they don't have a publisher, right? If you're an independent developer, you don't have other people who are like telling you what you need to do to make the money. So that's the big thing with independent. Now, if you're looking into trying to get into game development and you're currently doing school, I would recommend participating in a game jam and trying to leverage what you learn in school into how you start doing game development. So that's like a big one. Unreal Engine, everyone talks about Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine has its pros and its cons. Then there's Unity, which I've been using for a decade now or more. Then there's even smaller stuff like Godot. So trying your hand at making something really small is probably the best bet. If you feel like you want to have a passion for game dev, make something, anything, even if it's a Pong. Make Pong, make Pac-Man, make Tetris, make something so small that you can complete it, and that'll start helping you work towards getting into game dev. Learning the big engines is important too. So like you were saying, learning Unity, learning Unreal. Unreal is a big engine that's used by a lot of different studios. Learning how to use Unreal, learning how to use Unity. Unity is also used by a lot of studios too. Some of the major studios, like the really big ones like Rockstar and stuff like that, a lot of them have their own proprietary game engine. So their own engine that they have in-house. So that could be a thing that you have to kind of think about. Uh-oh. Did I do something? Oh no. I don't know if you can see me anymore. Are you in ads? I don't know. Well, yeah. So that's kind of like the gist of it. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so, like, have you done any game development stuff? Have you tried making a game? Have you participated in game jams? Toggle for each active here in the party. Just for now, replicate some YouTube course projects. That's good. That's good to try like things like that, like making cinematics just for fundamentals. Yeah, making stuff from YouTube can kind of be a little good and bad. Oh, that's good. That's good that you stop for your exams. Getting your school stuff's really important. Yeah, I would say try to do a game jam. Try to find a game jam. If you're looking for game jams, the easiest one to look for is go to itch.io and you go to itch.io and you can, there are tons and tons of game jams. Oh, these are like, actually no, we should go just jams, not here. This is the schedule for current and future game jams that are happening. And you can have something as small as like, you know, this is a duality game jam, this is a micro game jam. It's going to start in 3 days. It's a 2-day game jam. Heck, there's prize money. And it's like just a small, this is using Pico. So some game jams that want you to use their engine. Or you could go for something big like platformer jam, I guess, whatever this is. And this one is running from, yeah, this is like a week and a bit. Right, so that's a pretty good size game jam. So that's like a big one. So, yeah, I would recommend doing a game jam. Find something that peaks, you know, cyberpunk or whatever, redot, narrative-based game jams, just something like that. Something to kind of get into. Learn how to do a web build. That's probably a big one. If you can make a web build, so you can build, it can be played on through a browser. That's really nice because once you do that, you can get a lot more people to kind of look at it. You can also show it to people a lot easier. Check your local community, you know, do a quick Google search of where you are and see if there's any indie game developers. That's like another way to kind of find out more information about stuff. And yeah, that's kind of like the advice I could give. Biggest one is if you want to do it, do it. Don't give up on it. Like, start a little project. I really highly recommend a little project. You know, something that you can feasibly complete in like a month or two. Because sometimes people start big, complicated projects. How long it takes to have ability to make a portfolio and land a job at AAA company, because pretty soon moving to USA and work at warehouse and construction until I get a good. So that's like, that's tough. So getting the ability to like make a game is probably the first thing. So the only way you can get the ability to make a game is to actually make a game. People work with game devs at all of that, even why I'm going to move to the US and have a lot of companies. I mean, depending on where you are, like, the US is good, but US is also saturated. You know, depending on what place, where you are in the world, you could probably find game dev companies within your country or adjacent countries. If you want to move to the US, yeah, move to the US. There's a lot of places, but getting into a AAA company, it's hard. You need to have the big famous companies. You need to be you're competing against thousands of other people. And I'm not saying you can't do it. Anyone can do anything if you try hard enough. So if that's what your goal is right now, start making games. Start looking at game engines. Start figuring out how to do that kind of stuff, and also figure out exactly what you want to do in the game industry. Like, do you want to be a programmer? Do you want to be a tools creator? Do you want to be a environment designer? Do you want to be a QA lead? Do you want to be a project manager? Like, game development has such a lot of layers, especially at AAA level. AAA level, you're looking at companies with hundreds to thousands of employees that all have to do a specific job to keep everything going. And so in AAA, you're going to get a job and you're going to this is your job. It is all in here when you work for AAA. If you go work at a smaller company, okay, you might have more jobs, more of a little bit of a larger thing. And then if you're like me, I'm an indie developer, a solo developer, all by myself. I do everything. So it's it's huge. But yeah, if you want to go game development, first things first, start working on making a game, because even a AAA company will value the fact that you said, "Hey, I've made a game, and I've published this game on Steam." Right? The fact that's why a lot of schools, if there's I went to school for game development. Yeah, that's the thing. How long it takes? A year, less or more? How long to make a game? Oh man, you can make a game in 24 hours if you really, really wanted to. To get the skills that a company would want, it comes down to you and how much time you can focus on putting towards those skills and how quickly you learn, right? But focusing on a specific skill is important. So like I said, if you want to be a programmer, then you focus on specific programmer. So let's say a good one is tool programmer, making tools to help make games. So you focus on just doing that. I know people that's their job. All they do is they make tools for making games. They don't make anything else. You look at artists. Artists focus down to a very small, at AAA level, they focus down to very small things. So if you want to be an artist, then you have to focus exactly on that one thing. Are you doing environment? Are you doing 3D? Are you doing skinning, rigging? Are you doing concepts hard? Concepts such that's a tough one because concept's very competitive. But animation, that's another one. So you got to first kind of pick what you want to do in the game industry, and then you could probably focus, if you focused really, really hard and put in, honestly, if you put in, I would say an hour a day, every day for a year in one skill, you'll be able to do something with it. 1 hour every single day, no matter what it is, every single day, working on one specific skill. So let's say you're doing programming and you're making tools or shaders. Shaders are a complicated one. But let's say all you're doing is working on that every single day, 1 hour a day for a whole year. The skills you'll have at the end would be enough to get you at least getting looked at on a piece of paper. But I know people who went to school, who did 3 years of college to get a game development diploma or whatever, and waited years before worked other jobs, applied, and it was years before they got a game development job. And I have a few friends that have jobs at AAA studios, and also friends that worked at AAA studios for 10 years and then get, working for Ubisoft for 10 years, and then you get fired because the economy changes, and with a big company, firing, 100 people is a normal thing. Where in the world are you? I'm curious. I don't know. Yeah, getting in as a QA tester is good, but also you got to watch out with QA. It's like QA is a good door in, but you have to work your butt off if you want to go up and get promoted from within. Algeria. Algeria? Oh, it's North Africa. Yeah. Do you speak Swahili? You probably speak. Like, is it French? Oh, I don't know. I guess Central Africa is more Swahili. Oh, okay. But yeah, you don't like honestly in nowadays. You just person we know. Necessary, I would start as a QA tester and come in one day and ask if there's any artists in the group. Got in as I was from that point. Yeah, like if you want to do, yeah, it's actually, that's the thing. It's like some studios, if you get into QA, you can ask to have like a mentor in a different department, like programming or art or whatever, and that will help you also get up. But you know, if you have access to the internet and to like, you know, if you have a passion for it and the ability to do it, because conflict of individual and now we mix different French and Arabic at the same time. Ah, okay, that makes sense. I speak Quebec French because I'm in Canada. But yeah, also like the U.S. is good. French means France. Yeah, I figured as much. But yeah, there's also like if French and Arabic are your languages, Europe might also be another place to poke your idea for like moving to for game development. There's a lot of stuff in Europe. Also language barrier. Like if you move to the States, there's very few places that speak French, which is funny. But yeah, I would honestly, the first thing, if you are comfortable kind of the way you are now, you have access to the internet, you have the access to a computer, and you've got the passion to do it, make a game. Make something, anything. And you can post it on itch, and like, I've met people from around the world that have made little games that have changed their lives, right? And that's like kind of the big thing is once you start making it, it can snowball very quickly. So yeah, the biggest thing is try to find what you want to do in the game industry. That's probably the biggest thing. Focus on what you enjoy and what you want to be good at, and you work on that. Last question: how much average salary for game dev at Ada? If you, that question's very broad. Average salary for a AAA developer. I roughly know for Canada. So Canada, it's like you have There's probably no minimum wage AAA game. Even like a QA will still make like 50 grand a year as like a QA developer, but like someone like a programmer, there's a joke from a Canadian comedian here who was saying that if all Quebecers had to take the same French language test, the newcomers have to take only the Argentina America would pass. Haha, the French sounds very same. Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, so what people make, so generally game development makes pretty okay money, like I said, but it depends on where you are. Like, you know, now with remote work, technically, so I don't know what the average salary or whatever is in like where you are, but like people can be hired from outside of the country, right? And so what happens in some cases, a company, say in the U.S., hires someone who lives in a country where the U.S. dollar is worth a lot more. So like a Brazil, you know. So you hire someone in Brazil, you pay them in U.S., but because of the what's it called? The value difference in your country or U.S., how much do you... Oh, I mean, a salary is going to be anywhere between 50 grand a year to 150 grand a year. You know, it depends. And it also depends on what you're doing. Programmers generally make more money. That's just a fact. Programming is hard, so programmers make more money. Now, the thing is, also getting a job is very hard. And you might get a job that you're not doing what you actually really want to do. That's the kicker. It's like you were asking about being stuck using Unreal. It's like you could get a job where all you're doing is testing little things. Oh, no, not blueprinting. No, like real programming. Writing new things that are not necessarily there, or just doing more complex stuff like algorithms and procedural generated things. I was getting 15 an hour for artist first job. Oh yeah, 15 years ago, $15 is not bad. That's way better than like what I was making 15 years ago. I would say just general programmer. So focusing on something like C#. If you can be a good C# programmer, you can get a job at game development and many other industries. But yeah, like if you could always just search. We could always look at like and so yeah. So, but then you also got to take into consideration that if you go to somewhere like the States, you know, or even Canada or whatever, you know, I tell you a salary, and that salary might translate to some huge number back home, right? I was looking real quick that the average salary there is equivalent to like, you know, $317 US. Right? A private sector person, oh, that's monthly. Yeah, so monthly salary. So it's like, you know, doing anywhere between $300 and $500 US a month. You will definitely make way more than that in the US, but the thing is, the cost of living is also different, right? You know, average salary, say, per month. You know, average salary, just a normal kind of job in the States, you're looking at like, what is it? You know, like $6,000. Really? $6,000? Seems like a lot. Seems the average salary is quite high there. But, again, it depends, again, where you live. You know, you could live in a place where, you know, $6,000 a month is like, yes. But don't look at that number and think, oh, because I'm making $6,000, I'm going to be loaded. think about like this. Maybe your rent is $2,000. You have to drive to get to work, so you're another like $800. Or your rent could be even more. Your rent could be like five. Right? That's the kicker. It's like, whatever. What's minimum wage? Minimum wage in U.S. So yeah, the minimum wage in the U.S. is $7 an hour, or $7.25 an hour. So, like you could only be making like $1,200 a month at a full-time job. So that's looking like, it says the average. You know what? Okay, this is actually funny. The reason why it's $6,000 the average in the U.S. is because I'm going to get into some like just math for you. Because in the U.S., the ratio between, if you go to a big company, the ratio between the person who is at the very top and the person at the very bottom can be 600 to 700 times more in difference. Okay? So your guys like Bezos and Elon and people who make ridiculous money, they skew the average because the amount that they make is so astronomically large, and these top like small percent of people who make crazy dumb money, like there's people who make money more than what a country makes in the US, and those people change that value. So it's better to look at the minimum wage, I think. So the minimum wage, like I said, is $7.25, which means $1,200 a month. Okay? Now I'm starting to see why it would suck to be there, because it's like, okay, well, let's say you get an apartment. That apartment costs you $1,000 a month. Now you only have $200 left at the end of the month to feed yourself, pay for utilities, travel, whatever you need to do your work. So there's a reason why people in this, it's very common in the States for people to have more than one job. In Canada, the minimum wage is much higher, but taxes are a lot higher in Canada too. So like minimum wage where I am is I think like $17 an hour, something like that. But you also get taxed a lot. I guess from that McDonald's have good. I don't know about McDonald's, but I know Walmart does. Some big franchises actually pay relatively good, and they also provide. And that's the other thing. Oh yeah, States, you have to have healthcare. So you have to you want a job that gives you healthcare, which is more important than the actual money. Because if you twist your ankle or break your leg, well, that could be $4,000 or $5,000 right there, if you don't have insurance. But yeah, no, I know that Walmart and Costco have some of probably the better minimum. But then you have places you could go work for Amazon and get paid nothing and expected to work, 50 hours, and you don't get bathroom breaks and all sorts of stuff like that. The best advice I can give is learn to work for yourself. Learn to do stuff for yourself. Because when you work for someone else, you will always be under their thumb and you will always be disposable. So that's kind of the big thing. If you get lucky, you work for a company that cares about you, but most of the time, even companies that might feel like they care about you, at the end of the day, it's a business. And if they need to fire you to make the business survive, they will do that, and they will fire everyone. And it's very hard for someone, if you're running the business or whatever, and you pay yourself X amount, it's hard for you to go down. So if you're paying yourself a good wage, and you would have to sacrifice how much you pay yourself to keep one employee, a lot of the times people are willing to just get rid of that one employee to keep their way of living. It's very rare that a boss will, sacrifice their own money that they're making to keep people. And if they do, that's a good boss. That's someone who, if they care enough to lower their own wage to make sure that they can keep an employee, that's how it should be. Yeah. I don't know. I have my gripes about the States, and not about necessarily always the people, but how the society has developed a certain mentality and even in Canada too, the corporate mentality is kind of harsh. Everyone's replaceable. Nothing is secure. Nothing's definite. So, but back to like game development, pick something you want to do. Learn how to do that. If you want the best statistical chance of success, learn programming. Learn C++. You learn that, you can get a job in a lot of different places. It doesn't necessarily have to be game dev, but the thing is you could get a nice programming job at some sort of company doing basic programming and work there, and on the side work on your own little game project, which helps make a portfolio for you, and then apply to other places. So I would say probably the best skill is learning programming. Programming is definitely a very useful skill. Or management's also good too, but management's kind of hard in the sense that there's so many different types of management things out there. There's always art, but art, again, that's a super saturated market, and with generative AI, artists are getting kind of are left a little out in the dark. C# best, I think. C+ is... That's true. But the thing is, if you can learn a bit of C++ to start, you have, like... How do I put it? Like, you get certain fundamentals from C# C++ that really help with C#, I think, personally. But yeah, C#, also if you want an easy, like a straightforward... Everyone uses C#. I mean, Unity uses C#, Unreal uses C#. Most well, I don't know, is Godot made in C#? Or is it made in C++? Yeah, it was made in C++, exactly, that's what I figured. Thank you so much for your time, dude. I appreciate that lots. I asked a lot of questions, thanks. Hey, no worries. You wanna get into the game industry, and you wanted some advice. I love helping people try to get in the game industry. If you end up start working on a game, come back and show me what you got. Work on something, post some pictures, let me know. Especially with memory window. Yep, memory allocation. See, that's the thing. You get traumatized by the C++ memory allocation and memory leaks, pointers. These are the important things, because you learn about that, and then you move to C# and you're like, wow, this is so safe. I can do so much and nothing breaks. Oh, wow, this is so easy. So it's good that if you're learning C++ right now in university, that's fantastic. I would say while you're learning C++, like after you've done your courses and stuff, start doing C#. Like immediately start hitting up C#. I would jump into, if you want, you can use Unreal, you can use Unity, whatever game engine you want to start with, and make a small game. Challenge to you. Can you make Pong? Pong. Just the tuk, tuk. Yeah, I did also when I did college. Pain. I don't know. I wish I could. I probably do have it somewhere. I made a game in C++, like a C++. I made an ASCII mech game in C++ in a DOS window, and I probably have it saved somewhere. I have this old hard drive from when I went to university, or not university, college, that has like all my college program stuff. That's another thing. Hey, if you're doing C++, try making a game. Make a little ASCII game. A C++ ASCII game. That was actually one of our C++ ASCII. Like, oh man, making a ASCII game was hard. It was so hard. No, it was, I don't know. I say it's hard. It's so long ago. Just know this. You may learn some from college, but you learn everything when you do it yourself. Yes, 100%. 100%. college will teach you some fundamentals, but doing it yourself will teach you a lot, and doing it on the job will teach you a lot, because those two places are both practical applications of the skill. Nah, you could ASCII, and making a game with ASCII, it's really easy. You literally could just make basic code that has constant streaming ASCII characters on the top and the bottom with an X amount of space between, and then all you have is you use arrow inputs to move something up and down, and it's like you can make a Flappy Birds in ASCII. But yeah, no, definitely 100%. And that's why I always bring it back to game jams. Go and make a game. You know, pick an idea, make a Pong, make the simplest game you can think of. If the game is literally just two things moving up and down and a ball that's bouncing, or a pinball game, you know, just a simple, it's the way to start. I've made, it's not even a game, but I made a thing in an hour for my daughter using Unity, you know. And back to what I was talking about, itch.io. This website here, this website will help you so much if you're trying to make a game, because you can just go and you can browse game assets. And there are tons and tons of free stuff. Little characters, environments, art, because that's a big thing. Sometimes people just don't have the ability to do art. Tons and tons of stuff. You know, you could even look up, I'm pretty sure, tools and engines, Unity. You know, you can pick up, you know, animation libraries. You can pick up 3D models. If you go to the Unity Asset Store, you can actually pick up like stuff to help build, help start you off with a game. But I would recommend doing very basic stuff first. Using a game engine that has like built-in, or using someone else's projects. If you don't understand the fundamentals of what you're using, you can pigeonhole yourself very quickly. So, but yeah, no, it was great talking to you. And I'm probably gonna go have lunch now. That's oh yeah, actually I have to finish writing what I was writing here. Okay, we need toggles for each active hero in the party. No worries. Like I said, go make something. Come back to me when you've made something. That's what I want to see. Allez, fais quelque chose. Reviens après. Okay, we need to toggle on. Also, Canada's a great place to move to. And we have Quebec, so it's all French people. We just have winter. It gets cold. I'm in the basement right now, and it's cold. And it's like probably 30 degrees outside. No, maybe not that warm. What is it? Oh, it's 20 degrees Celsius outside. Okay, we need toggles for each active hero in the party. When toggled, display their best stat for the event. Display some sort of like description, some sort of description on how they might use that stat to complete the event. Maybe also also what might happen if they fail. I use Dex to wall run, comma, but could fall to my death. Yeah, I don't want to shock you. You don't want people to kind of have an idea that they might lose a person. Okay, so that's a good little thing there. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's a good one there. Yeah, yep. Oh, it's getting cold. My hands are cold. My nose is cold. Okay. Okay, I think that's a good little chunk of. I didn't do actually that much today. What did I do? I made some things, adjusted some stuff. I realized that my scaling is going to be a pain in the butt. Polish is going to be needed for that. But once this event is done, that would mean I have kind of everything slotted into place. Because we have combat, we have going up the ladder. Oh, I have the whole passives to work on, and losing 2 weeks of work really sucks. Because I had a good flow before. Now I'm like starting around from the bottom up. I should probably invest some time into the logic for my passive skills. Because passive skill combination is now a big thing. Oh, okie dokie. Shut it down. What did I do? How much did I do? Oh, 2 hour. 2 hour stream. Yeah, that's good. It's good. Time to go. Go have lunch. Nom. Is there any other notes I need to put? Don't think so. I don't think there's any other notes I need to really force into this. I have a good idea of what I need to do here. This is just checking constant best value. Maybe I might not use this logic. Best stat is speed, dex. So this is just doing the stagger thing. Maybe I just need to do or you need a stat that is x more than the target stat value. So mana 10 is equal to target speed 5. So something like that. So then if someone is jacked in one thing, yeah, okay. I think that's a good way. I might redo this. And then I also want to put maybe like a do I want to put chances? I don't know if I want to put chances. I can put chances after if I want to. Okay. Done. Stream out. Stream. Gotta go take some drugs, some antibiotics. Hey, 4, thanks for coming out. I appreciate you. Always coming out and hanging out. I hope you have a good day. Yeah. Timo Tuesday. Out!